Caitlin Clark just did something that no athlete has done since Michael Jordan.
Caitlin Clark is making waves like never before with her groundbreaking Wilson deal, shaking the foundations of women's basketball. In just 40 minutes, thousands of her signature basketballs sold out, proving her immense popularity. As a rookie, Clark has already tripled attendance figures, broken over 62 records, and forced even her critics to acknowledge her brilliance. Some veterans, however, have shown envy, targeting her aggressively on the court. The comparison to Michael Jordan isn't just media hype. Jordan himself has recognized her impact, validating her as a true game changer.
No one ever said there weren't ever great players before Caitlin Clark. There was never phenomenon, not in my lifetime, with women's basketball. And I went to UConn, so I've seen plenty of great players, but nobody's ever moved the needle in my lifetime like it.
Just as Jordan revolutionized the NBA in the 1980s and 90s, Caitlin Clark is redefining the WNBA today. Her historic achievements are rewriting the rules and putting pressure on veterans who now face a superstar unlike any they've encountered before. The evidence is everywhere. And before we dive further, if you're a real Caitlin Clark fan, hit subscribe and type CC Perfect Score in the comments below.
Unveiled Caitlin Clark's signature basketball, making her the first athlete since Michael Jordan to get their own signature basketball from Wilson. She also becomes the first WNBA player to get her own signature basketball from.
When Michael Jordan released products, fans camped out for days. Now Clark has sparked the same level of demand in women's basketball. Her Wilson partnership marks the first time since Jordan himself that a player has launched a personal signature basketball collection. Veterans who once doubted her, like Cheryl Swoops, are now forced to admit her commercial power. Clark's name is suddenly appearing in the same breath as Jordan's in marketing discussions, breaking the old hierarchy of women's basketball.
She is the first ever female athlete to have her own collection with Wilson, but just a heads up though, the entire collection on the Wilson website is sold out.
The craze was undeniable. Wilson underestimated demand, and thousands of Clark's basketballs sold out in just 40 minutes, faster than a PlayStation 5. That buying frenzy proves her cultural influence extends far beyond basketball, reshaping women's sports marketing. The phenomenon mirrors Jordan's era, as Clark pulls women's basketball into the mainstream with unstoppable momentum.
The designs are part of the Inspire series that Clark is doing in partnership with Wilson Sporting Goods. The tribute ball pays homage to Clark's time with the Iowa women's basketball team, and the Dreamer Ball is designed to encourage athletes to pursue their dreams. Both are available in sizes 3 and 6 at select Hy-Vee.
Each basketball in her collection tells a story about Clark's game. The threes-up ball highlights her limitless shooting range. The record breaker celebrates her statistical dominance. The crowd maestro captures her ability to electrify any arena she steps into. These products feel genuine, tied to her identity, and fans connect deeply because they aren't just buying gear, they are buying into Caitlin's story.
Did not mess around with these basketballs. Geometric patterns form the number 22 in triangles whose three sides nod to threes that fuel her scoring, and then the black and yellow is a nod to the colorways of the Iowa.
But this success has created tension. Veterans who spent over a decade chasing mainstream recognition never came close to the results Clark achieved overnight. Imagine grinding for 10 years, only to see a rookie surpass you instantly. That frustration has spilled onto the court. Clark is being double-teamed, fouled harder, and targeted in ways that feel personal.
It's incredible. Congratulations to her and her family. Yeah. The crazy thing is I'm just seeing her last year when they played LSU, but she's phenomenal. I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever. Ever? Well, I don't know.
This proves that Clark isn't just a skilled rookie, she's a force redefining the WNBA. Her commercial numbers already place her alongside the greatest legends, even before finishing her rookie season. She's reshaping perceptions of what women basketball players can achieve in the marketplace.
And when you take into stock the fact that outside of Kevin Durant, aging superstar, LeBron James, 40 years old, and Steph Curry, there's not a single NBA player more popular today than Caitlin Clark.
Clark's marketing genius goes even deeper. Instead of limiting herself to luxury brands, she put her signature basketballs in grocery stores across the Midwest. That decision baffled experts at first, but it was brilliant. Why? Because she put herself right in the aisles with milk and eggs, directly in the hands of everyday Americans.
Pro, Caitlin Clark is the 4th most marketable athlete in the world. Yeah, not just female athlete, not just in the United States, but in the entire world.
The average American visits a grocery store 1.6 times per week. That's exposure no billboard can match. Every shopping trip, people are reminded of Caitlin Clark. Veterans may not understand this move, but Clark gets it. Becoming a cultural icon means connecting with people in their daily lives. That's why she has become the true hometown hero of women's basketball.
Very, very cool. Big deal. Good job, Wilson. You know, they probably went and put this together. I mean, maybe Hy-Vee contacted Caitlin Clark first, but, you know, this is probably the type of thing Wilson is trying to do.
On the court, the numbers back up the hype. WNBA games featuring Clark average 1.18 million viewers, triple the usual ratings. She's drawing new fans who never watched the WNBA before. Statistically, she's already walking alongside Jordan, averaging over 18 points, 8.5 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 block, and 2 steals per playoff game. She's transcending basketball itself.
Here, they just had this go, and this is the Hy-Vee Instagram account. Again, Wilson, Caitlin Clark, really smart, very cool video, lots of smiling faces.
While veterans chase old-school sponsorships, Clark is creating her own blueprint. She stays true to her Midwest roots, authentic and relatable. That authenticity makes fans trust her and explains why her products sell out instantly.
And I've said it a million times, it's not breaking news, it's not brand new, but I really do believe Caitlin Clark is the next face of basketball. You know, they've been searching for that in the NBA. Who's the next face of the NBA? It's been LeBron and Steph carrying the torch. I think the next face of basketball, period, is Caitlin Clark.
But the divide in the WNBA is growing. Clark's $76,000 salary compared to her estimated $11 million in endorsements has created frustration. Veterans, who spent years fighting for respect, now watch as a rookie commands attention, deals, and money they never had. Their emotional reactions on and off the court prove the rivalry is personal.
We knew Caitlin Clark was marketable, but she's been put over some pretty big names. In fact, some worldwide, huge, international names. 2 of them being Messi and Ronaldo.
Even Charles Barkley had to speak up. He blasted the WNBA, saying they couldn't have messed this Caitlin Clark situation up any worse if they tried. His words show how unprepared the league was for a player of Clark's magnitude. This is bigger than jealousy, it's a system issue. The WNBA's salary cap, built for parity, is now blocking the league from paying its most marketable star fairly. Clark is exposing the cracks in the system by simply existing. And yet, Clark isn't demanding special treatment. She's using her influence to improve conditions for everyone, pushing for charter flights, better travel, and a $200 million media deal that puts women's basketball in prime time. Even her critics benefit from the changes she's driving. The league must now face reality. The old marketing playbook doesn't work anymore. Clark is selling out products in minutes, boosting ratings, and tripling attendance. The WNBA needs to adapt to her star power or risk falling behind. And finally, the ultimate stamp of approval, Michael Jordan himself. The GOAT endorsed Caitlin Clark, saying the WNBA owes her recognition for transforming the game. When Jordan speaks, the sports world listens. His words validated what fans already knew. Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie. She's a revolution. Like Tiger Woods in golf, Serena Williams in tennis, and Jordan in the NBA, Caitlin Clark is rewriting the game. Her rise is not a phase, it's the start of a new era in sports history. AJA Wilson's emotional reaction to Caitlin Clark's groundbreaking Michael Jordan deal has shaken the women's basketball world, because when the most iconic figure in basketball history, the legend whose name defines greatness itself, extends his symbolic torch toward a rookie who has barely begun her WNBA journey, it doesn't just crown a new star, it disrupts the very order of the league, forcing established superstars like Wilson to confront the uncomfortable truth that a newcomer has already stepped into cultural territory that even multiple-time MVPs haven't reached, and that exposure has left AJA vulnerable, caught in the raw clash of pride, admiration, and competitive envy. Because Wilson, who has carried the WNBA banner with her dominance, resilience, and hard-earned championships, knows better than anyone how brutal the grind is, how long and lonely the road to recognition has been. And so watching Caitlin Clark, fresh from college, barely past her rookie introduction, secure a historic Michael Jordan deal feels like the basketball gods tilting the spotlight sharply, unfairly, toward a player who hasn't paid the same dues, and that sting hit harder than any foul or loss, because Wilson has been the standard bearer, the leader, the voice of women's basketball for years. And yet, in a single headline, Clark's name is suddenly tied to Jordan, to legacy, to GOAT-level marketing, while Wilson's own name, though adorned with accolades, feels eclipsed, and that contrast exposed the deepest tension within the league. The uneasy balance between the veterans who built the foundation and the phenoms who explode overnight into superstardom. Because Clark's Jordan deal is more than business, it's validation, a signal to the world that she is the chosen one, the face who can shift culture, triple ratings, sell out arenas, and break barriers at a pace the WNBA has never seen. And for AJA Wilson, whose greatness is undeniable on the court but whose mainstream reach has never matched Clark's meteoric rise, the emotional reaction spilled out in subtle interviews, cryptic posts, and moments of visible frustration that fans and analysts instantly dissected, turning her into both a symbol of veteran pride and an unwilling participant in a narrative that pits the old guard against the new, because this is not just about basketball. This is about legacy, respect, marketability, and the uncomfortable truth that Clark has, in a matter of months, achieved commercial feats, like selling out signature basketballs in 40 minutes and pulling millions of viewers into WNBA broadcasts, that Wilson and her peers have been striving toward for years without the same result. And while Wilson is too smart, too professional, and too competitive to reduce her reaction to jealousy alone, the emotional weight of this moment was impossible to hide, because for a competitor of her caliber, who has given everything to the game, who has fought through being overlooked by mainstream media despite dominance, who has demanded respect for women's basketball long before Clark arrived, it feels both unfair and inevitable that the anointing by Michael Jordan himself went not to her but to the rookie phenomenon. And that truth cut deep. Because even as Wilson outwardly acknowledged Clark's talent and contribution, her tone betrayed the storm within, the duality of admiration and resentment, the frustration of seeing someone younger crowned by forces beyond basketball skill alone. And the media, ever hungry for storylines that mix drama with sport, amplified every flicker of emotion into a headline, into a talking point, into fuel for the endless debate over whether Caitlin Clark's rise diminishes the work of veterans like AJA Wilson or simply elevates the entire league. And in that discourse, Wilson's emotional reaction was exposed, not as weakness, but as the human reality of greatness colliding with greatness, of a torch being passed too quickly, of a hierarchy disrupted before its time. Because Wilson's legacy is already legendary, her place in the game secure. But in this moment, the Jordan deal reminded the world that sports are not just about performance, they are about perception, narrative, and cultural energy, and Caitlin Clark has it in abundance. And so AJA Wilson's emotional reaction is not just her own. It is the voice of every veteran who has felt overshadowed, overlooked, or underappreciated. And yet it is also the spark that makes rivalries legendary, because Clark and Wilson, now locked in this dynamic, will push each other higher. Their clash of eras fueling the very drama that makes fans care, that drives ratings, that sells tickets. And while Clark may have Jordan's blessing, Wilson's emotional fire ensures that the story is far from over, that the battle for recognition, respect, and legacy in the WNBA has only just begun, making this one of the most fascinating and transformative moments in basketball history.